What's up everyone, this is Marky2200 and welcome back to my Need for Speed testing series, where today I'll be ranking all the classic muscle cars in Need for Speed Pro Street from worst to best based on their grip capabilities. All the cars have been equipped with stage 3 handling and performance packages. We're using manual gearbox and all the cars have been tuned properly. Tunes of every car are in the description down below. With that said, let's see which of the classic muscle cars is the worst for grip racing. And that at number 9 we have the Dodge Charger RT. It is the only car that achieved a 150, and the reason why it's so bad is, well, it has a lack of power, but this car's main problem is that it just does not turn at all. I don't think it's the worst handling car in the list, but with a lack of power and with very little turning capabilities, well yeah, that's the recipe for the worst car in the game. At number 8 we have the Roadrunner, and the Roadrunner achieved a 149.87, and the reason why this car is so low on the list is because this car has a glitched force induction, which means that no matter which force induction you pick, this car will never, well, it basically power wise it will never feel like you have a force induction, so it is down on power. That's why it's so low on the list. At number 7 we have the GTO, and the GTO I think has the most amount of power of any of the car, but the least amount of turning capability, so it's even worse than a Charger when it comes to turning. I mean, look at this corner, which pretty much any other car can do flat out. You have to lift, you have to brake, and that makes for a very bad grip car. At number 6 we have the Hemi-Cuda, which achieved a 146.79. It felt decent, it's got a good gearbox, the turning was at least decent, but the power just was not there. Yeah, it's alright, it could be better, could be worse. And then at number 5, quite surprisingly in my opinion, we have these GT500. And it is actually somewhat pleasant to drive. It handles pretty decent, you know, it turns alright and it doesn't slide all over the place. But it's clearly down on power, and that's what's preventing it from moving up on the list. It's got a somewhat respectable time for the classic muscle cars, 146.74, but you know, it's alright. Then at number 4 we have the Camaro, which is pretty much the opposite of the GT500, as this car just slides all over the place. It has a lot of power, but this car has a very tendency to oversteer. It turns somewhat decent, I guess, but it can make it somewhat unpredictable. But at least, you know, if you're not going for competitive lap times, this car is actually somewhat fun to drive. Then the top 3 are pretty much in a league of their own, as we're jumping up about 4 seconds in lap times. At number 3 we have the Chevelle with a 142.87. And really there isn't really a lot to say about this car. It's alright for a classic muscle car. It has decent power, decent, well, gearbox is pretty bad, but the power is somewhat there. You know, 142.87. It's alright, it's not amazing or anything in terms of lap time standards, but for classic muscle cars, well, we started with a 150 with the Charger, so this car is about 8 seconds faster than that. Quite a big improvement. Then number 2 we have the Dodge Challenger with a 142.06, and I'm telling you right now, I'm actually somewhat surprised this car made it to number 2, because this car is a bitch to drive. It is stupidly unpredictable, then it wants to understeer, then it wants to oversteer. It's very unpredictable, but at least it's fast. You know, that's I think the main reason why this car is so high on this list. So it actually took quite a while to get a decent lap going without the car oversteering, without the car understeering that much. It's decent, I guess, but I would take number 1 any day over the Challenger. As at number 1 we have the C2 Corvette. And the C2 Corvette, I mean, it's got decent power and decent gearbox. You know, it's not the best one in terms of those two things, but you know, they're alright at least. What makes this car number 1 is its handling. It is by far the most pleasant car to drive out of any of these cars. It doesn't oversteer that much, it doesn't understeer that much. It is, you know, it has good handling. Its turning capabilities are exceptional for a classic muscle car, which ultimately is what grip racing is all about. And those were all the classic muscle cars ranked from worst to best based on their grip racing. To me it's not a big surprise that the Corvette won. I mean, this car has got great handling and everything else is alright at best. But you know, grip racing, you want grip. And that's what the Corvette has the most out of all of the classic muscle cars, so that's why it won. Anyway, if you've liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you wish to stay updated on all my future videos, consider subscribing. This has been Marky 2200 for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Take care.